This is your Daily 10, Non-Calculator, Video 7. Make sure you pause the video and attempt the questions before you watch the solution. Here's the first question. So for this one, we need to try and show if we've got a pyramid with a base. We don't know how big the base is, but we do know it's got n sides, so it could be any number. We need to work out how many faces that pyramid has altogether. Well, whatever pyramid it is, whatever shape it is at the bottom, it will need that many number of faces in relation to the number of sides at the bottom. So if you imagined a triangular base pyramid would have 3 faces going up, meeting at the top at a point. A square base pyramid would have 1, 2, 3, 4 points, or 4 faces meeting up at the top point. So whatever size the bottom is, it's going to have that many faces plus the one face that's at the bottom. So the expression that represents it is going to have to be n plus 1, because it's the number of faces going up to meet at the point plus that one at the bottom. Here's your next question. Split into 2 parts. We'll look at the first part. So here it's just wanting to say whether or not it's got strong or weak, positive or negative correlation. Well, because the points are generally going upwards in a positive trend, it's definitely going to be positive correlation. All the points are quite close together, quite close to being a straight line, so we would say that this is strong positive correlation. This is the second part of the question. So here what it's saying is that we need to actually draw a line of best fit. It mentions it in the question. Even if it didn't, if it said estimate using a scatter diagram, you must draw a line of best fit. So the first thing we'll need to do is go to the diagram, place your ruler, or if you've not got a ruler, quickly use a pencil, and draw your line of best fit so it goes through the points, roughly the same number of points above and below your line of best fit. It says we need to use this line of best fit to estimate the number of tests needed to pass for somebody who took 50 lessons. Now you need to make sure that you show this on the diagram. It is worth marks. It does say in the mark scheme that we've got to do this. So at that point I'm going to go to 50, using my ruler, draw a line that goes up until it hits the line of best fit, and then one that goes straight across. We get something that looks like that. Now mine, it hits almost exactly at 4. So I would say that that is the number of tests needed to pass. If it was a little bit more or less, because you can only take a whole number of tests, you would need to round to the nearest whole number in this one. This normally isn't the case. Just trying to think about it in context, because you can't have part of a test, you would have to round these ones. Here's your next question. So here what we need to do is add 2 algebraic fractions. Well, actually it doesn't matter that it's an algebraic fraction, we still use the same idea. To add 2 fractions together, we must have that the numbers at the bottom are the same. They are not in this case. So what we need to do is find the lowest common multiple, so the smallest number that both of these go into. Well, that's going to be 6. The clue is actually in the answer over here anyway. So what I'm going to do is change both of these fractions so that they now have a 6 at the bottom instead. Well, for this fraction on the left, to change 3 into 6, I've had to multiply by 2. So I'd have to do the same to the top, and I'm multiplying everything at the top of this fraction by 2. So that will give me 4x. 1 times 2, so plus 2. For the fraction on the right, I'm going to have to multiply everything by 3 to make it 6 at the bottom. So 5x times 3 is 15x. Minus 2 times 3 is minus 6. At that point, all we need to do, because the numbers at the bottom of the fractions are now the same, we would just add the two fractions together. So we're basically adding 4x and 2 plus 15x minus 6. Well, if you add those two together, then what we're going to get is 4x plus 15x is 19x. 2 take away 6 is minus 4 all over 6, because remember, when we're adding fractions, number at the bottom, if it's the same, it stays the same. So 19x minus 4 over 6, that's exactly what it wanted us to show. Here's your final question on this video. So for this one again, what it wants us to do is to multiply these two together, but it's given us an extra little thing. It says that we need to write the answer as a power of 2 in terms of x. So because it's actually wanting us to multiply two things together, I can't actually do anything with this at the moment, because I don't know what this power is, this letter x. I don't know what it represents. I can't times these two together. So I'm going to use this hint that it needs to be a power of 2. So I'm going to swap. If we take each number one at a time and work with them individually. Well, 16, if I want to write that as a power of 2, well, 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 is 8, times 2 is 16. So actually 16 is this, which is 2 to the power of 4. So that'll get me my first mark. 8 to the power of 2x. Well, I wanted this to actually be as a power of 2. So, if instead of writing 8, I'm going to change that into 2 to the power of something. And then I'm putting the little 2x on the outside. So all I'm actually doing is replacing this 8 with something in brackets. 2 to the power of something in brackets. Well, 8 is 2 times 2 times 2. So it's 2 to the power 3. So all we're saying here, 2x, that's the same, and 8 I've just replaced with 2 to the power 3. Now if you remember, if we bring in another bit of maths that we've used before, 2 to the power 3, all to the power of 2x. If you've got two powers inside and outside your bracket, we can actually simplify this by timesing these two powers together. So that gave me 2, 3 times 2x, to the power of 6x. So what I've done here is I've changed 16 into 2 to the power of 4. I've changed 8 to the power of 2x into 2 to the power of 6x. And what I wanted to do right at the start of the question was multiply these two together. So what I need to do is 2 to the power of 4 multiplied by 2 to the power of 6x. Remember, if I times two numbers together with powers, all I need to do is actually add the powers. Well, how would I write 4 plus 6x? Just by writing 4 plus 6x. This is a power of 2 in terms of x, so here would be my answer.